The two latest headlines just dropped and left Steelers fans both shocked and excited. Aaron Rodgers, yes him, is already earning serious praise from Mike Tomlin, throwing darts and looking like a natural leader. The veteran seems way more comfortable than anyone expected. But hold up, despite all the buzz, Rodgers won't play in the preseason opener. Instead, a familiar face will take over under center in Jacksonville. If you're a true Steelers fan, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. Let's get into the video. Aaron Rodgers in black and gold still doesn't feel real, but here we are, and Mike Tomlin is digging what he's seeing from his new QB. After another day of camp at St. Vincent College, the Steelers head coach sounded more like a guy who's watching a future Hall of Famer settling in just fine, not someone holding their breath. When asked how Rodgers is looking so far, Tomlin didn't mince words. He's throwing the heck out of it. That's coach speak for dudes still got it. Tomlin mentioned that he came into camp without any big expectations. No checklist, no pressure, just a clean slate. But even without any preconceived notions, it's pretty clear Rodgers is impressing early. And yeah, it's just training camp. But when you've got a guy of Rodgers' caliber slinging it comfortably in a new offense, it's hard not to start imagining what that might look like once the games actually count. Now, if you're wondering how big of an upgrade Rodgers could be, consider this. Last season, at 40, coming off an Achilles tear and playing behind a shaky Jets line, Rodgers still managed nearly 3,900 yards and 28 touchdowns. Sure, he tossed 11 picks and the Jets' record was rough, but he was a lot better down the stretch than people give him credit for. And when you stack those numbers up against the Steelers' QB room from last year, Wilson and Fields combined for fewer yards and 7 fewer TDs, Rodgers doesn't even need to be vintage MVP mode to be an improvement. Even former Steeler and ESPN analyst Ryan Clark couldn't help but fanboy a little after watching Rodgers up close at camp. He can still really throw the football, Clark said, even dropping a Super Bowl XLV reference. Yeah, the one where Rodgers diced up Pittsburgh to grab a ring. Of course, no one's pretending Rodgers is the same guy who shredded defenses 15 years ago. Time's undefeated. But he doesn't have to be that guy. If he's just efficient, smart, and in rhythm with this revamped Steelers offense, that could be enough to finally snap the playoff win drought that's been hanging over Pittsburgh since 2016. This whole Rodgers experiment in Pittsburgh is probably a one-year ride, and yeah, there are folks questioning whether rolling the dice on a 41-year-old with a big personality is the best move. But if he stays healthy and delivers come fall, all the noise, the doubters, the hot takes, the Pat McAfee appearances will fade. The only thing that'll matter is what he does on Sundays. But hold on, because what just came out about the plan for the first preseason game might surprise you and shows the Steelers are handling Rodgers like a rare gem. All right, Steelers fans, here's the quarterback rundown for Saturday night's preseason opener down in Jacksonville. And no, Aaron Rodgers won't be suiting up just yet. Instead, it's Mason Rudolph who's getting the start under the lights at Everbank Stadium, and honestly, that was always the safe bet once Will Howard was ruled out with a hand injury. Coach Mike Tomlin made it official during his Thursday presser, and while Rodgers didn't completely shut the door on the idea of playing earlier in the week, even he admitted it wasn't likely. "It's an interesting conversation," Rodgers said with a grin, "but I don't think it's in the plan for me to play this week." Which makes sense. The guy's played in exactly one preseason game since 2019. Protect the golden arm. With Howard now week to week, that opens the door for more Mason time. And if anyone knows the ropes in Pittsburgh's preseason games, it's number 2. Rudolph's been there, done that, 17 preseason appearances during his first run with the Steelers from 2018 to 2023. He's also got 21 regular season games under his belt, including 13 starts. While he spent last season with the Titans, where things were a little rocky, 530 yards, 9 TDs, 9 picks in 8 games, the Steelers brought him back this offseason on a 2-year deal, clearly valuing the experience he brings. Skylar Thompson, the former Dolphins backup who joined Pittsburgh on a futures contract in January, will also get some live reps behind center. Don't be surprised if he plays a big chunk of the second half. And keep an eye out for Logan Woodside. Yes, the same guy who literally just signed on Thursday. Tomlin didn't rule out getting him some snaps, too, depending on how things shake out. So while this Saturday won't feature any Rodgers fireworks, the Steelers' QB depth chart is still going to be put to work. And with Howard on the shelf for now, it's a golden opportunity for the rest of the room to make a statement, especially Rudolph, who's looking to solidify himself as QB2 behind the future Hall of Famer. Rodgers looks sharp and confident, even without needing to prove anything in preseason. And with Rudolph taking the first snaps, the QB2 battle is heating up. If you liked the update, subscribe now so you don't miss any Steelers news.